Hey, it's Randall Kaczynski here at Sound Mind Counseling, and we're going to speak about the trans-theoretical model of change, or the change behavior model. And in 1977, Dr. James Prochaska developed this method of processing through change and the stages that we go through when we're trying to make a big change in our lives. And initially it was actually for tobacco and nicotine cessation, still used today, but I believe that it can be used in every area of life that you're looking to make a change. And it could be a fear and a phobia, it could be a health-related change, it could be a change of behavior. Whatever it is that you're thinking of changing, you can look and see, where do I show up in this model? I've done this with myself many times for several different reasons, and I think it's helpful because it's a tool that can be used for introspection and self-reflection. Okay, so when we're looking to go through a big change, we'll often find ourselves in the very beginning, which is pre-contemplation. Pre-contemplation, you're not even really thinking about making a change. It's not even on your radar. It might be kind of in your subconscious, like, yeah, maybe, but not really. It's not even something you're not ready to change yet, essentially. Second stage is contemplation. Now the ball is starting to roll and you're thinking, yeah, maybe I should, maybe I'd like to, and you start kind of toying around with the idea of change. Stage 3 is planning and preparing. Okay, now the balls are really rolling. There's some momentum there. You've been contemplating it. Now you're actually creating a plan and putting something in place of what it's going to look like for me to put down this behavior, or put down this habit, or put down this fear. And how am I going to do that? And you start thinking of ideas, and you start basically preparing for the change. Then you have the action. So now you're actually taking action, and you are implementing your planning preparatory phase, and you're actually taking a step in that direction. So maybe you're finally putting tobacco and nicotine down, or maybe you're finally pursuing that thing that you feel like you've been afraid to do, or maybe you are actually pursuing a health plan. You're in your action phase. There's actually something taking place in your life. You're not just thinking about it anymore. And then you have the maintenance phase. The maintenance phase is we're going to keep on this path. Whatever it is that we've changed, whether we've let go of a substance, whether we've let go of a behavior, a fear, we are going to continue down the path, and we're not going to stop. Now, because this can be a cyclical pattern, there is stage 6, which, you know, it's the falling back. Okay, and this does happen sometimes. We do have relapse, and you hear that. You hear that in the 12 steps. We say relapse is a part of recovery. But I want to talk to you about the reverse of motivation to slide backwards, whatever it is that maybe you're trying to get out of. Okay, so the same can apply. We might look at the negative of the picture, right? Can you imagine that? If you're thinking about changing something and going backwards to the way you don't want to go. So, for example, let's talk about a fear, okay? You've been pursuing this thing, you got through your planning and preparatory phase, you're in your action phase, and you're pursuing this thing that you were afraid of or apprehensive about. But you allow that old fear to creep back in. And so now you're out of the pre-contemplative phase, you're back in the contemplation phase. I'm thinking about welcoming this thing back into my life. And now I'm essentially at the same time probably planning and preparing it for it to come back into my life. Now I'm taking action. I'm pulling away from that thing that I was actively pursuing with intention and boldness. Remember, courage is proactive fear. Remember that? So, unfortunately, the trans-theoretical model of change can work in reverse. We can look at it in a mirror image. People who have stopped smoking, for example, remember the trans-theoretical model was originally used in the late 70s for smoking cessation, tobacco cessation. To say, okay, I'm in this pre-contemplative phase, which essentially, in a mirror image, would be what? Would be the maintenance phase. Now we get into contemplation, thinking about picking this back up again. I'm thinking about welcoming this into my life again. Contemplating it. Preparing and planning. I'm going to pick it back up. And action phase will essentially be the relapse phase. We're going to bring it back in. Now we're actively back in it. And so we want to relapse back into recovery. It can be done. It can be done with your fears, your phobias, your behaviors. Remember, there's complete total liberty and freedom to do whatever we want in this life. Remember, not all things, everything's permissible, not everything's beneficial. So if there's a behavior in my life, maybe a social behavior that's not necessarily beneficial, I can reverse it, I can flip it. Health related, I can shift my health. I can make and pursue the healthy choices in my life. What about when it comes to fears and phobias? Okay, I got on the right track, I'm moving down the right direction, I'm pursuing that which I was afraid of, or maybe I was apprehensive about, but now I'm kind of welcoming that fear back in. I've done it before, I can do it again. I can push myself past the discomfort of whatever this fear or phobia is, and I can get back on track. Now, sometimes, and a lot of the times, it does require some support. So you want to come along people who are the comrades in your journey, people who are on the same path as you, doing the same things that you're doing, and you want to also cheer along those that are doing different things in their lives. You also want to have somebody alongside you to support you. Sometimes that is a counselor or a therapist of some kind. It could be a psychologist or a social worker or maybe a hypnotherapist, and help you through that journey of accountability and keeping on the path to positive change. Remember, relapse is a part of recovery, but eventually the relapse will stop if this is the path that you're choosing, whatever it may be. So if there's something that you're maybe thinking about wanting to change in your life, maybe it's something related to your relationship, or maybe it's related to friendships, maybe it's related to work, maybe it's related to something completely different, and you're thinking, yeah, I kind of feel like I'm in that contemplation phase. I'm thinking about making a change. I'm past pre-contemplation. I know the next stage is planning and preparation. I just don't know how I'm going to go about it. That's when you reach out. That's when you reach out to somebody who you think might be able to help. And it doesn't need to be years and years of therapy or counseling or hypnotherapy. It could be a couple months, it could be a couple weeks. It really depends on the person. But if you're in that stage and you're thinking about change, you could give me a call. If you've stumbled upon this video and you want some support, or maybe you just have some questions, you're like, I want to talk to this guy, give me a call. And you can reach me at my website, which is www.soundmindcounseling.net, and we can talk, answer any questions, and help you on the path to long-lasting change that you know you want, you know you need. You've been thinking about it for a while now, so it's good to get a little more information. I'll be there for you. All right, thank you so much for watching. Take great care. Bye-bye.